If you are spiritually curious, not overly materialistic and adventurous, looking deeper into how life works, this may be for you. I'm Roach, Mark Roach, here to share a unique perspective that will, I hope, be a benefit to you. Let me quote some esoteric material here you may have not heard before. The only part of us that can get in touch with the real I is essence. Real I mastery is fully developed. Essence is not. By way of allegory, we can say that the real I remains always on the level in which it is, whereas essence descends and eventually becomes surrounded by personality. The only way to reach real I is through essence. You cannot reach real I through personality. Let me put it this way. The possible journey to real I is only through development of the essence, which can connect with the real I. It is necessary for some of you to understand this more clearly than you do at present. But I am quite aware that this is a very difficult subject to talk about. In any case, it is impossible to understand it in a purely formatory way. We have to understand something like this. We were created before we were born on this planet, and we were created perfect. That is, with real I. We were then sent down through descending levels and further descending levels down to this earth. And we were born with essence. At a very early age, essence may be in touch with the real I because, as was said, only through essence can you get in touch with the real I. Gurdjieff once said, "Behind essence lies real I, and behind real I lies God." Now, our problem appears to be, from what the work teaches, that essence through which alone we can get in touch with real I is undeveloped. The plan is this: essence cannot grow unless personality is formed round it by life on this planet. This is the first and necessary step. Because a man who does not develop up into the level of good householder, who never learns anything from life, who, in short, is nothing but a lunatic or a tramp in the work sense, does not understand that he has not made the first step in this real development. In other words, he has not understood, does not see what is the plot or plan connected with his birth on this earth. Let me repeat, essence through which we can get in touch with the real I cannot develop by itself beyond a very small point unless, first of all, it is surrounded with a side acquired from this planet, which is called personality, which, in turn, if we begin to work against the aspect of it called false personality, will feed undeveloped essence. As essence begins to grow in this strange way, so does the possibility of finding flashes of real I become more apparent to those undergoing the process of this work. Let's put it on the board horizontally. False personality, personality, essence, real I, and God. This is what we have to think about. This is the problem of esotericism. And this is why it is so difficult to understand quite what esoteric teaching is saying. You must have to understand by now that the work teaches by implication that we have forgotten ourselves. This is why the work starts with the idea that a man can remember himself. Think for yourself for a moment. If you are told that you must remember yourself, it must imply that you have forgotten yourself. And this must again imply that once upon a time you did remember yourself and have now forgotten yourself. And this is why everything is wrong with you, with other people in this life. The great teaching of the work is that everyone has fallen asleep. Everyone has forgotten himself or herself. And that is why everything goes in the only possible way that it can go. That is also why it is said that we have to awaken from sleep. And so the work speaks about the necessity of trying to remember ourselves and not live all our lives asleep, identified with the things, persons, events, and every unpleasant situation and all the rest. You may ask why, if we were created perfect at a level higher than earth, it is necessary to be made to descend at all. Well, the answer is that being created perfect has contributed nothing to its own development. It would be easily tempted by descent and ascent, thus becomes stronger than the angels, as it is said somewhere. So this quote is from Maurice Nicoll's Psychological Commentaries on the Teaching of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, Volume 4, and this was stated back in January 29th of 1941. Maurice Nicoll was a prominent British psychiatrist, author, and esoteric teacher known for his contribution to the Fourth Way teachings, a spiritual path introduced by George Gurdjieff and expanded by P.D. Ouspensky. Nicoll was born July 19, 1884, in Kelso, Scotland. Nicoll was the son of William Robertson Nicoll, a minister of the Free Church of Scotland. Nicoll pursued his education in science at Cambridge University and later studied medicine at St. Bartholomew's Hospital in London. He furthered his studies in psychology under notable figures like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, becoming a leading exponent of Jung's ideas. His early career included serving as a medical officer during World War I and working as a psychiatrist upon returning to England. In 1921, Nicoll met P.D. Ouspensky and subsequently became involved in the teachings of Gurdjieff. He spent time at Gurdjieff's Institute for the Harmonious Development of Man in France before it closed in 1923. Following this, Nicoll joined Ouspensky's group and eventually began his own study groups in England in 1931. Nicoll is best known for his work, Psychological Commentaries on the Teaching of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, a 5-volume series based on talks that he gave to his study groups. These commentaries are considered significant contributions to the Fourth Way teachings, emphasizing practical applications of the teachings and integrating Christian elements such as Neoplatonism and dream interpretation. Besides his psychological commentaries, Nicoll wrote under the pseudonym Martin Swain, producing works that reflected his experiences in the Middle East and his spiritual insights. He maintained an interest in essential Christian teachings throughout his life. Maurice Nicoll passed away on August 30, 1953. The reference, man by descent and ascent thus becomes stronger than the angels, as is said somewhere, appears to be related to theological discussions on the potential and destiny of human beings in relation to angels, Specifically, this concept is explored in Christian theology, where it is suggested that humans, through spiritual growth and transformation, have the potential to become greater than angels. One relevant source is an article from The Trumpet, which discusses the biblical perspective that humans are destined to become greater than angels. This is based on the idea that humans have the potential for better character, a deeper mind, and more transcendent power than angels. The article cites biblical passages such as Hebrews 2, verses 6 through 8, which speaks of human beings being made, quote, a little lower than angels, end quote, but eventually being crowned with glory and honor. Additionally, the book of Hebrews in the New Testament emphasizes the superiority of Jesus Christ over angels and suggests that through him believers are elevated to a status beyond that of angels. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 4 through 14 discusses how Jesus obtained a more excellent name than the angels, and by extension, believers who are united with Christ share this elevated status. These theological interpretations suggest that while humans are currently lower than angels in terms of power and might, their ultimate destiny through spiritual ascent is to surpass them. This aligns with the broader Christian narrative of redemption and glorification through Christ. I'm Roach, Mark Roach, wishing you all the best.